You know that story, the one we all learn about the creation of the universe? Well, what if it's not actually about the universe at all? What if all this time it's been a story about the creation of you?
When you hear the words "in the beginning," your mind probably jumps to a specific point in time, right? Billions of years ago. But what if we've been asking the wrong question? What if the beginning isn't a when at all, but a where?
And this is where things get really wild. It turns out the original Hebrew word for in the beginning, bereshit, can also mean in a house or even in a head. That one little shift? Well, it changes everything. The story is no longer some distant cosmic event. It's an intimate, personal journey that takes place right inside each and every one of us.
So here's our game plan. We're going to walk through the 6 days of creation, but not like a calendar. Think of it more as a symbolic map for this incredible spiritual transformation we're talking about.
Okay, let's jump right in. If this whole creation story is happening inside a house, where exactly is that house? According to this interpretation, the heavens and the earth that God creates, they're not out there somewhere. They're established right here, inside the human mind. The entire drama unfolds within us.
This completely flips the script on what the Earth means. It's not the planet we're standing on. It's the raw material of our consciousness, our inner state before we have that big spiritual aha moment, the clay that God is shaping. Yeah, that's us.
So what does this inner Earth actually look like at the very start of the journey? Genesis paints a pretty bleak picture, to be honest.
You see these words formless, void, darkness? This isn't geology, it's psychology. It's a perfect metaphor for the human condition, isn't it? That feeling of inner chaos, that deep sense of emptiness, and just being in the dark from a lack of true understanding. This is square one. This is our starting point.
Now, the very first act of creation is to tackle that darkness. God says, "Let there be light." But hold on, because this first light, it's probably not what you think it is.
Here's a really cool distinction. In the original Hebrew, the grammar for that first light is in what's called an imperfect tense. That means it's an ongoing process. It's unfinished. It's the first spark of awareness, but the journey to full illumination, that's only just getting started. The real deal, the true light, that doesn't show up until the 6th day.
All right, let's move on to day 4. God creates the sun, the moon, and the stars. Now, in a literal sense, of course, they light up the sky. But in this symbolic journey, their job is to light our path in a completely different way. So, in this reading, these aren't giant balls of gas in space. They are symbols. They represent the old systems, religious laws, prophets, ancient teachings. Think of them as the lesser lights that provide structure and guidance while we're still spiritually immature, kind of waiting for the real dawn to break.
And now we get to one of the most surprising and honestly mind-bending ideas in this entire interpretation. It involves a hidden symbolic shift in the identity of the very celestial guardians we were just talking about.
So get ready for this, because this question sets up a huge paradigm shift. To really get this transformation, this reading says we have to track a secret change. The symbolic gender of the sun and moon actually flips between the Old and New Testaments.
Yep, you're seeing that right. The argument is that in the Old Testament, the sun is symbolically feminine and the moon is masculine. But when you get to the New Testament, they completely switch places. The sun becomes this masculine figure, the divine bridegroom, while the moon becomes feminine, representing us, the believer or the church.
And this isn't just some random swap. This gender flip symbolizes a profound change in who we are spiritually. We evolve from being passively guided by the law, that's the feminine principle, to actively uniting with the divine, becoming a partner in this sacred marriage. It's a total evolution of our relationship with God.
So, all of this brings us to the final stage, the grand finale of this inner journey. What happens when we are finally united with that true light?
This is the ultimate goal. The external guides, the laws, the sun, the moon, the stars, they become obsolete. You just don't need them anymore. And why is that? Because the light is no longer outside of you, it's inside you. You become your own source of spiritual illumination.
This whole journey culminates in this incredibly powerful imagery from the book of Revelation. The woman, who represents the perfected believer, is now clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet. She hasn't just been guided by these symbols, she has integrated them, mastered them, and transcended them completely.
And that's the whole journey right there. The entire 6-day creation story completely reimagined as a personal, transformative path. From that empty void inside to getting that first spark of light, following the guides, transforming your identity,
And finally, becoming a new creation, a universe of light all your own. You know, reading Genesis this way transforms it from some ancient text about the distant past into a living mirror for our present. And it leaves us with one final, provocative question. If this is the map of our spiritual journey, where on that map do you find yourself today?